Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I do ask that you like and subscribe to this channel. This is the first video of my spiritual journey to draw closer to the Lord. And the way that I will do that is by taking time to share what the Spirit of God is leading me to study and to do deep dives into scriptures, also to fast, to pray, and to really try to share with you all what God is leading me to do, and hopefully to help encourage someone else during this journey to draw closer to the Lord right along with me. With that being said, I'm going to cue my intro. Now, the best way to start this series off is to start it off with a series that's near and dear to my heart because it's coming from the book of the Bible that I absolutely enjoy, which is the book of Ruth. Now, all of us can relate to the loss of loved ones and experiencing hardships during this time and season. And that's why this series is entitled Finding Your Purpose in the Midst of a Storm. How do you do that? How do you find your purpose when you're hurting, when you're sad, when you have lost loved ones, when you have lost a job, when you're experiencing shortage, whether it be food or it be in being able to be in physical contact with relatives or with friends and family that you would normally be in contact with, but due to this global pandemic, you're not able to be out and be about your normal day-to-day activities the way that you would normally do. How do you find your purpose when you feel as if you are by yourself, when you feel alone? That's what we're going to discover on today. And we're going to start with the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. And it reads, "Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land." Two important things. One, this was during the time period when the judges ruled. And two, there was a famine in the land. And when we think of famine, we think of loss, we think of shortage, we think of sorrow, we think of being inconvenienced with not being able to have what you normally would have because it's a shortage in the land. This is what they're experiencing during this time. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judea, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his two sons. Two things important to notice about this. Bethlehem represents the house of bread, and Moab represents waste. So this man left a safety net. He left his responsibilities, left what God had in store for him to do, and went to a foreign country. Moab was a city of idol worshiping. These are descendants from Lot and his oldest daughter, Incest. Their son, which was his name is Moab, these people are descendants of Moab, the son of Incest. And to give you a little bit more knowledge of that, Lot's daughter deceived her father by getting him drunk and laying down with him and conceiving a child in deceit. Now, with that being said, the nature of the people in Moab was similar to her nature, was deceitful. They didn't believe in God. They believed in idol worshiping. And they believed in doing things that they found pleasure in doing, whatever that may be. Now, with that being said, let's move to verse 2. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his two sons Milon and Chilion, Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judea. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. So when they was passing through, they didn't just pass through Moab, they stayed in Moab. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her two sons. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that it's three major characters in this book: Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz. Right now, the scriptures are focusing only on one person at this time that's experiencing a lot of heartache and a lot of despair, and that's Naomi. Now, her husband just died. Mind you, she also was taken away from everything that she once knew. She was taken away from her homeland. She was taken away from her customs of going to church, being able to fellowship with the saints. She was taken away from that. And for any woman to be taken to a foreign country, that is a very uncomfortable feeling. But then her husband died in the midst of this. So she's separated from all she knows. The person that's her covering, he dies, and now her two sons are still alive. Now let's find out what her two sons do. And they took them wives of the women of Moab, and the name of one was Oprah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. So instead of them taking care of their mother, they went and got wives. So when they went and got wives, they dwelled again in Moab for about 10 years. So notice what Naomi do during this time. Now, she could have left and went back to Bethlehem, Judea, but she didn't. And Mahlon and Chilion died. Also, both of them. And the woman, notice this is singular, this is not plural. The woman, which is Naomi, was left of her two sons and her husband. Remember, I'm focusing on Naomi, but also the scriptures are as well. She's in Sorrow's Valley. Not only did she lose her husband, but she also lost her two sons. And now what is she going to say to her two daughter-in-laws? Now, mind you, she lost her husband. So she has something that she can share with them as far as with how to get through this. But she's still in grief because she lost her sons. This is what's encouraging to me. Even in the midst of sorrow, in the midst of pain, listen to what this woman does. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return to the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. In the midst of her pain, in the midst of her sorrow, she arose. Hallelujah. And she didn't rise up just because she heard what the Lord was doing in visiting his people. Now, this is important to notice. There was a witness somewhere in Moab. Now, remember, this is an idol worshiper, idolatries. Everybody in here, they believe in something different than what she believed in. But somebody was there spreading the good news of what God was doing in her home country. And it compelled her to leave and go back home. She didn't stay in Sorrow's Valley. She got up. And when she got up, she got her daughters-in-laws up as well. She didn't just stay in the state that she was in. But I'm so thankful that it was a witness there to share of the good news of what God is doing and what the Lord was doing for his people. We still need witnesses to share what God is doing during this time and during this season. God is still blessing. He's still helping his people even during this global pandemic. Make sure you be found spreading the good news, being able to be an encouragement to someone who's struggling. You don't know who's watching you. And just like Naomi did not realize her life, what she was doing was being watched by one of her daughter-in-laws, which was Ruth. One thing that I do want to say before I close this video out is that Naomi's lifestyle was such an inspiration that it led someone who did not know God, did not grow up in the household that Naomi grew up in, didn't have her background. Her life, Naomi's lifestyle, inspired Ruth so much that she was willing to leave her country, her people, and follow after Naomi's God. Now that's an inspiration. One thing that I will say about Naomi, regardless to the heartache and the pain that she went through, she still upheld her godly character and was able to draw a lost soul closer to Christ. One thing I want to ask you all during this time and during the season, are you drawing souls to Christ? Are you being a beacon of light in the midst of darkness? I pray that even whatever pain you're going through, still be found holding your godly character. Have your integrity set to where when somebody see you, it don't matter where they see you at. It could be at your job, at the grocery store, it could be at the gas station. When they see you, you are a beacon of light. Be that light, be that man, that woman that uphold godly character in the midst of your turmoil. Whatever your storm may be, whatever your issues, your trials, your tribulations may be, uphold godly character, because you don't know who's watching you. You don't know. Your life may lead somebody else closer to God, closer to Christ. Be found fulfilling God's purpose by being a godly person, by being someone that do have good news to share. Being a person that even if I'm in a foreign land, I don't have to be like the foreigners. I can be different. I can be set apart. I need to hear that myself. You can be around all these different races, nationalities, and still uphold godly character. Be found fulfilling God's purpose for your life. And do that each and every day, because you don't know who's watching you, and you don't know whose life is depending on your godly character, your godly stance. My name is Toyoshima Gray. And again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch this video. I do ask, if this video has touched your heart, please like and subscribe and share this video to anyone that you feel would be benefited from it. Love you all with the love of Christ. And I pray that God bring you out of any heartache, any pain that you're experiencing. And I pray that you uphold your godly character in the midst of your storm. Find your purpose by being who God has called for you to be during this time in this season. God bless you. Love you all. Continue to pray and seek God each and every day. God bless you.